This episode sponsored by Lake Monster Details, producing the Don's Light and Magic Legacy line of parts, offering upgrade parts and decals for accuracy, special effects, and lighting. Visit www.lakemonsterdetails.com and make it glow. Also sponsored by GCals, producing aftermarket replacement decals and custom quality graphics for your favorite spaceships. Visit www.gcals.company.site and add some personalization to your sci-fi models today. Also sponsored by Mask Design, boldly going where no masking kit has gone before. Take your model to the next level of detail and accuracy with a masking kit from Mask Design. Visit Mask Design on Facebook or click the ordering link in the notes below the video. Also sponsored by Paragrafix. Add superior detail and accuracy to your models with photo etch, resin, and multimedia accessories from your first source for photo etch parts and more. Paragrafix. They count rivets so you don't have to. Visit Paragrafix at www.paragrafix.biz or click the link in the notes below this video. Hey, what's up, fellow modelers? Will here. Welcome to the Ensign's Chair. So, it has been a bit, yet again. Things have not slowed down for me at work. So, it's been very difficult for me to actually be able to sit down and work on builds, which I hate because I really love to be able to sit down and build. But when I'm working the schedule that I'm working, I get home and I just want to go to bed. And then my days off, there's been a lot of prepping for winter. There's some other stuff I've had to work on and get repaired and done. So hasn't left me a lot of time to work on builds, but I am happy to say I finally got the electrical issues worked out with the Reliant, and the roll bar and the cells are attached. So you're going to see that in this episode. I'm going to talk about what I had to do to get all that done. I'm going to take a look at what I have to do now, as far as I've got to blend in the roll bar where it attaches to where the pylons attach to the main hull. I've got to get that all blended in. That's going to take a bit of work. And then I've got to do a lot of touch-up. I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But just a quick update. So, without further ado, give me a minute. I'll put you on the bench. We'll get to work. All right, so here it is. Finally all put together. All the electrical issues I was having are worked out, and everything is working as it's supposed to. The only thing I haven't tested out yet are the megaphasers and the photons. Not too worried about them. I have to put a switch on before they'll actually work properly anyway, and I haven't done that yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Now that I've got this light test done, you can see my strobes. I got strobes there, and then one on the back of each nacelle. You can see those lighting up. You can see my navs lighting up. As a matter of fact, let me pull the camera off. Let's see if I can make it a little easier to move this around. Oh, first I gotta not have my camera flipped. Alright, so here we go. So here you can see everything. You can see that back is lit up. Now once I put some, I'll either use some UV resin or some microcrystal clear. Once I put that in those, you won't see those hot spots from the lights. I may have to focus this a little bit. Looks like it's a little blurry. Okay, there you go. So now you can see that back. Now remember, the only thing I didn't put on this, the only mod that I didn't use, well, one of the mods I didn't use was the impulse, because I already had the impulse done on this. So this is the stock impulse on this, and you can see how that's lighting up. I've got to do some diffusion on that as well. Come around here to the side, you can see how those window inserts are lighting up. A couple hot spots there, but I have resin window inserts that I'm going to put in there that's going to kind of cut down on those hot spots and should make it light up a little more even. Come around here, you can see the RCS thruster when that lights up. Now I've got to do a bit more work on these yet. You can see they're kind of rough, scratched open. Can't make them out too well, but so I've got to come back. I've got to do some more work on those. Put a mask on those, light block again, and then repaint the yellow. Touch that up. I've got. You can see up here on top, and I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the studio model had some pencil lines drawn on it, and I'm going to clean this up a little bit, but you can see where I've tried to duplicate those pencil lines. I got a little cleanup to do on it, but not too bad. You can see, and actually I may have to turn the light off for you to be able to see this, because this isn't light up too bright. But you can see how those lounge windows are lit up. You can see how the docking port on the back is lit up. Those two lights on either side. There's actually a ring on this when you look at it. The camera's not picking it up, but where the docking door is actually a light ring around it. So you can see that. You can also see how the blue vent is lighting up. And same thing with these vents back here. These light up and then go out with the warp engines. And you can see when the warp engines cut out, or when the warp engines come on, the blue dome, the impulse, I've got this wire in the way, the impulse lights, the impulse engines cut out. If I can hold this right. And you can see that there when it goes to low power mode, impulse engines come on, and then warp, they go out, and those light up as well. So everything is working great. All my strobes working. I don't know if I can get the camera down low enough from here to see. You can kind of see that light on the underside, how that's lighting up in sync with the nav lights. And you can also see the spotlights on the front, as well as those blue crystals on top of the front of the nacelles. You can see those light up. So yeah, everything looks good on it. Like I said, I've got some touch-ups to do. I've got to finish painting some details, mainly the phaser banks. The RCS thrusters got to be done. You can see they're kind of a mess right now. Those have to be done. I also haven't done the red on the lower sensor dome forward-facing spotlights, so I've got to do that yet. And just all around, it's just a lot of touch-up I'm going to have to do on it. Let me turn the light back on, and let me show you a couple things. Where the pylons went on, they didn't really quite fit flush to the hull, so I'm going to have to do some putty work with that. You can see there, so that's got to be puttied. I do have some light leaks that I can see along where the nacelles connect to the pylons on both sides. I've still got to work on getting this more of an edge on this instead of it slopes a little bit here on the back, and I don't like that, so I've got to do some work on that. You can see back here I've still got to put those back pieces. There's little triangles I haven't put in place yet right here. Those have to go in place yet, so I haven't done that. That'll fill most of that gap. I may have to do a little bit of putty work, but shouldn't be a whole lot. But same thing on this side. If I can get this wire out of the way. Same thing on this side. I've got to put that piece in place over here, and you can see that vent turns blue as well. And I don't know if you can see it. I'll probably turn the lights out, and I don't know if I can get this camera low enough, but there is red light coming out of these two vents on the bottom here. Just a very low red light is what I've got coming out of those. Nothing overly bright. So that's pretty much what I got to work on. I've got, oh, I do have one other thing. I do have a little bit of a twist going on here. So this pylon, you'll see, is at a little bit more of an angle than the right side. And they should be even like that. So I've got a little bit of a twist going on somewhere in here. I've got to try to figure that out and get those level with each other. Not too much of a twist, but just a slight one. That one's touching us about, well, that's probably about a 3-4 millimeter twist on it. So I got to figure that out too before I get too far into this, because I don't want to have to break any seams apart if I can help it. But you can see over here I've got to do some more seam work at the bottom of this nacelle. But so, like I said, just mostly some small stuff I've got to get touched up and done. But for the most part, she is finally together. I'm going to focus again. And ready for final details. I'll turn this light off again, just so you get one more look at it. But yeah, the only thing it's missing that I'm kind of wishing I had done now is maybe did some Raytheon with the spotlights on the front and on the sides here. So the next one that I'm kind of working on a little bit at a time, I may do that on the next one so I can get that spotlight effect on there. But other than that, I like the way the lighting turned out. Everything, thank God, is working now. I was a little concerned that I may not be able to figure out what the problem was. I had to crack that right nacelle open in order to get it fixed, and everything is working great now. So that being said, I'm going to do some work on some things, and we'll come back and see what the progress is here in a little bit. Alright guys, so I'm working on blending in this roll bar, and it's going to take me a little while to do. It's going to take a couple days probably, because what I've got to do is I've got to putty, and I'll show you here on this side. I've got to putty this seam right here, and then sand it, and then it's going to take probably a couple of passes of putty and sanding to get this blended in. This is going to be the hardest part to do, because there is not really much of a supposed to be a seam here, but an obvious join to where this pylon attaches to the hull. So on the studio model, this was actually removable, and it's hard to actually find pictures showing this, how this is supposed to look when it's done. But there's maybe a slight panel line here. It's hard to make out on the photos, but all the auction auction photos, which are the most commonly used ones that people see, these pieces are actually missing on both sides, so you can't really see how that sits with the hull. What I've actually got, I can show you real quick, is this picture. It's a still shot of the filming model, I believe right after Wrath of Khan was filmed. But and it's not a great photo, but you can still make out. So you can tell there is a angle there where this connects, but I don't think there's supposed to be much of a panel line there. Definitely not a gap like I had on here. So I'm going to work on getting this looking proper. I got to do that on both sides. You can see this side as well, this side here. And I've tried to protect as much of this Aztecing as possible, but I am going to lose some of it. So I'm going to probably have to make my own masks to come back and duplicate this to reapply that paneling where I've lost it right here. Same thing with the sensor bands. I'm going to have to redo some of them because they're going to come up to right here, so I'm losing some of that. You can also see I've got to finish repairing this nacelle where I had to crack it open. And the only other thing I've had come up, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm not going to lose my mind over, is you can notice when I was looking at the pictures I had taken and shared on Facebook, I noticed when I saw this that this was not lighting up. So this is supposed to be green on this side. In my opinion, that's the way I'm going. Some people may just use white here, but to me it's supposed to be green. I've got red on this side. So I thought maybe I forgot to remove the mask at first, so I was trying to kind of delicately pry it to see if the mask was still on there. And I noticed that when I put pressure on it, this would actually light up. So obviously there was a bad connection here. And I thought maybe if I could cut around the SMD, I could pry it out, and if I could pull enough wire out, I could hook another SMD up, put it back in place. But unfortunately the SMD pulled free from the wires, so that didn't work. I can see the wires down in there, at least the red wire I can see. I'm not sure about the black. So So I don't know if I could dig, but I don't want to keep digging at it because right now they're not shorting out. And I'm afraid if I continue to try to dig those wires out, that I may cause them to short, and then it's going to cause a bigger problem. So because it's on the underside, I'm not too worried about it. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. So what I'm going to do is fill this in with some UV resin. I'll apply a small round mask, the same ones I used to mask these off when I was painting before. I'll apply a small round mask here, light block it, repaint this gray, and pull that mask off, and it'll just be a steady on green. It's just that's the only way I can do it. I'm definitely not going to break this model back open to worry about that green nav light there. So that's just going to be my solution for that. But everything else is working great. My transition's working. You can see my nacelles light up for the blue. You can see my this light here in the middle is blinking with the navs as it's supposed to per the videos or per the movie. But so I've got that all worked out. I need to get all these seams tidied up, and then I want to start coming back and working on cleaning up these these terrible paint job I did around these phaser banks. So I'm going to redo these, as well as my thrusters, and I've also got to actually do my phaser banks on top here, but I want to get the underside looking good, and then that way I know how to duplicate that on top here. One final thing I want to say real quick is I did, and I'll show you a picture of this as well. You've got those triangles that go on the back here. They go right in here on both sides. And I'll show you this picture of the studio model. Those are, I thought maybe they were supposed to be white, but they're actually, if you look at the picture of the studio model, they're actually gray. So what I did was I painted them gray, so I've got them right here. But I'm not going to attach them yet. I'm going to make sure, I want to wait until I get these worked in, these pylons worked in a little bit better, and then I'll attach these, because I'm going to have to do some putty work around these as well and get those worked in. But outside of that, that's pretty much what I've got to get done. And then we could start looking at tidying up some of these final little details. There's a couple of things I need to clean up. There's a couple, definitely quite a few of these Aztecs that I'm going to have to redo. But it'll all come together. I'm just going to take it one step at a time. But like I said, my first step is going to be to get this pylon looking good as far as where it connects to the main hull. So while I'm working on that, I will try my best not to let this take, not to let there be as long of a gap in this video as there was from the previous video, which oh God, I think it's been over a month since I put out a video, but it's just been really busy at work. Things have not started to slow down yet. They will at some point coming up into the fall, later in the fall and the winter. But right now they've been very hectic at work. So I'm doing as much work as I can on this when I have time. But I'll continue to try to focus more on getting this kind of wrapped up. I've still got to start doing work on my base, my control panel base that I think I showed a couple episodes back. I've still got to get to work on that and get that together. I actually had a couple ideas come up to incorporate into that, so hopefully it'll work out, but I've got to do some test runs on it. And that's going to require some 3D printed stuff. By the way, this is Friday, October 17th. I'm going to put this video out early tomorrow, which will be the 18th, Saturday the 18th. I have a live stream that I'm going to be doing, talking with Cass from Lake Monster Details and Mike Hazelwood from over at Vagabond Studios. We're going to talk about 3D printing and its impact on the model building hobby. So be sure to check that out. Stream time will be 3 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Central. I am on Pacific time, so it'll be noon for me. But definitely check that out if you get the chance. I'll be streaming it on my Facebook page as well as on YouTube as usual. So please check that out. As always, I ask, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button down below. It costs you absolutely nothing. It affects you in no way, really. But it helps me out tremendously, especially with my sponsors. And because I've been lagging on getting my videos out, I haven't been getting a lot of subscribers, but they still keep trickling in. So please hit that subscribe button. And if you've already subscribed, please hit that like button below if you got anything useful out of this video. As always, I appreciate the feedback and I appreciate everyone's support. Big shout out again to my sponsors, as always, Cass over at Lake Monster Details, Paul over at Paragrafix, Gary over at Mass Design, and Gus over at GCals. I always appreciate their help and support. And I've got Gus has a couple other things, or at least one other thing he's going to help me out with in terms of that. The shuttle, the Andrew Probert, or Andrew, not Andrew, Matt Jeffries, not different generation. Matt Jeffries, I'm working on that. Probably have an update video coming out for that soon too. But Gus is going to help me out with some stuff on that. But anyway, again, as always, thank you for watching. Till next time, keep modeling.